So this next section is the report. And the first skill that I developed throughout this entire interview process is definitely, with communication. It's basic, it's just getting my point across of how many skills I have, how trustworthy I am, and how much I actually do want this job. And that skill, definitely, it really did help me as, it's, as the interviewee was sat there and listening to me, and I was just getting my point across to him that, how much I really do want this job. And it did help. I've developed a skill just through, preparing really for the interview, sort of just trying to sell myself really, by saying various things about what I will do when I get the job and how we'll improve the school, and sort of showing that I am ready to take this step for the job. If I didn't develop the skill, it would have been, it would have been difficult really, because getting your point across to someone can be really tough, especially an interviewer. And if you don't get it across, then it could mean you don't get the job. So definitely having this skill is really, really good. This will affect me applying for jobs in the future by, it really, really positive. I think knowing that you've got this skill where you can get your point across and show how well you actually are and sort of sell yourself in that way is really, really good and really positive. And I'm really glad that I do have that skill. One example is the way I said that, I'm a really good team player, and he asked, so how? And I go, well, I've played football for years, and I've coached the team. When I was injured, I coached the team instead of actually playing, and I helped them in in various trainings. I set up different drills that I knew would help certain individuals. I set up one-to-one training and really did help someone, and certain individuals, just so they can, things that they have wrong, maybe they might in football, maybe they might struggle to cross the ball. I'd give them tips on how to cross the ball. That's just an example. A second skill that I've developed through this interview process is definitely my way to actually communicate to people as actually, with making eye contact with them, dressing smart. It's your way to, when you make eye contact with them, make sure you're confident. It shows you just your confidence, so you don't slouch back, you don't dress, not the right attire. You make eye contact with them constantly. I think that's one of the best ways. That's one of the skills I've learned, which does really, really help. I've developed the skill just through basic. If you want the job, you've got to look the part. You've got to look confident, and you've got to look like you really do want it. And if I wasn't to make eye contact, if I was to not look at him in the eyes and sort of look down or to the side, he wouldn't feel like I'm confident for that role, and he'd feel like I wouldn't really want the role if I'm not looking at him in the eyes. And obviously dressing smart makes him feel like I do care, and I do want the job. If I didn't develop the skill, it would be really tough. Like I said, it would show that I'm not taking it very seriously. You want someone who wants to take this job serious, as it is it's a big role. A PE teacher it's a big role to take. This will help me applying for jobs for the future, again in a positive way, as always making eye contact. Never ever stop making eye contact. That's what I did. Dressing smart, obviously, so you take it seriously, and being in that right posture, in that confident posture, it really, really does go a long way. An example is, obviously, today I've dressed up in a black shirt, a black tie, and some grey pants. I've made eye contact constantly with him. That's what I did. So yeah, that's the third and final skill that I've used, I've developed through this interview process, is definitely my way to sort of ask him questions back. So when we were about halfway through the interview, I asked him a question back, and it sort of, I said, he asked if you get any questions for me, and I gave him some feedback, basically saying, what's the school like with the Ofsted and the reviews, which is a skill which is a skill that I've learned. Just basically needed to ask him something, so that he'll know that I actually do care, because then if it shows that I'm asking him questions about the school, it shows that I actually do care about the school and I want to know more, which will definitely want him we wouldn't be working at the school. If I didn't develop a skill, I mean, I don't think it would have mattered too much, but it just shows and it goes that extra way that I want to know more about the school and about how they go about their day-to-day school life, what the children like, what a lot of the parents like, and just how the school is run. This will affect me applying for jobs in the future, definitely, as you know, just showing that I care that bit extra about the school. It'll go a long way to some people, as you know, if they know that I do actually care, it'll really help us. You know, I think if they know that, then I feel like it could edge me over more participants who are going for the job. For example, yeah, like I said, I asked, so what are the Ofsted reviews like, and he provided me an example of the Ofsted reviews, which was very, very positive, but it just shows that I do actually care about the school. The process of the interview, basically, so I've researched the job, I applied for the job, and I was looking at the job spec. It was basically showing, you know, it's a full-time job, you got to be very flexible, and obviously the person spec, I've read all that, it's a good salary, but that wasn't the main thing that I looked at. Mainly just, it's more of a career instead of an actual job itself. You know, sometimes you go from job to job, such as when I was at a bar, whereas now this is a PE teacher, it is a career path, which is a lot different. I prepared for the interview with my CV and my application form, basically sort of reading that sort of image in my head of trying to sell myself, really, which is what you've got to do with these type of things. I was trying to sell myself. Obviously on my CV it shows my grades, I mentioned them, and my experiences with, you know, my examples of using team building skills, examples of where I've been confident and motivated, so different ways with that. Each piece of document has helped me a lot. The CV has helped me to sort of narrate all my skills, which has really helped in my grades. The application form, just to show that, you know, I do really want the job, and you know, it just sort of shows my passion for the job that I actually want, and also showing my previous jobs, such as being a barman. And this helps because obviously I've been communicating with so many people. I've been doing the job for years, and it shows that I can problem solve as a bar. If you need to change a barrel, or if you need to, or if something isn't working the way it should be, you've got to, you know, go around them type of problems. So it is tough. But with the cover letter, this helped me, as you know, it sort of basically told them why I want the job and how I'm going to get the job. And you know, it says here, throughout my college education, I have a range of different skills and experiences, and it shows, and it says about all my college, and it says from the age of 13 I was at Wigan Athletic Academy football, and then at 16 I was at Rochdale, and it just basically says what I've done throughout my life, which has got me to this point. It shows my pathway, which I did mention in the interview itself. The document that prepared me the most was probably the CV, as it just basically said what's good and what I need to improve on, and basically all my grades, which obviously helps probably the most as I show what academic level I'm at, but the CV definitely helped me the most. The document that least prepared me was probably my application form, as obviously it did show my past as a barman, but it was least because the cover letter basically said my pathway, which is huge, which is very, very important. My biggest strength during the interview, I believe, was my communication in general, my confidence and the way I got my point across, you know, loud and clear, eye contact. That was my biggest skill. This impact will have on the interviewer, as he knows that I'm a confident person, he knows that I will thrive during this job, as I will get my point across to the students that I'll be teaching. So I'll make sure every single student is disciplined, and I'll make sure there's no messing about in my lessons. My second strength during the interview, I'd say, was my ability to answer questions with very punctuative language. Different words that I've used, and the way I did speak quite fluently. I didn't really pause that much. I didn't stutter that much. So that was also a good skill. The impact I'll have on the interviewer there is the fact that